they go. All right, so d6. Now, the bummer for this is that Esipenko will be prepped for this. He will be prepped out for this. Ooh, b3. Okay, good. Now I'm no longer worried. As we saw in his other game yesterday, he loves the b3 move. Me and Pruess were like, God dang, that's a dumb move. So here we go, b3. Not a good move, but he likes this setups with b3. Now, one interesting thing is that in these positions, usually white wants to play a4 to stop b5. So Sam is allowed now to think about b5. I just want to stress, Sam is completely fine already. He is completely fine, and he's got a novel position, so this is great. The scary thing would have been if Esipenko played some prepared line. Now this b3, maybe he's prepared it, but I can tell you right now, it's not that dangerous. The bishop on b2, he took a tempo out, you know. Okay. Oh, relax, Jesse, relax, buddy. Bum, 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 bum. Interestingly, I think their ratings that they're showing are rapid ratings. They're saying 26-11 and 26-26. And the rapid ratings are so weird because there's a lot of players don't play rapid. You know? All right, here we go. Black is fine. I would rather be black in this position. Perhaps white is dreaming for some g4 thing. And at the minimum, I'm just not that scared. There he comes, b5. Very simple and strong. Now, white has to wonder, is b4 a threat? He says it is. The drawback of bishop d3 is that it gets in the way of the d file, gets in the way of the d4 square. Presumably, if a5, then a4, and he wants to reroute the knight through e2 to g3. Bishop b7, simple and strong. So he's waiting on castling, and the benefit of that is that these g4 things, which already, although they're kind of funky in themselves, they might lose a little bit of sting. Notice too, g4, g5, it's like you got to wonder about knight h5 and f4. And, you know, to my mind, the bishop just doesn't even belong on this diagonal. It's not a great diagonal for Elbashovsky. Morning, Patrick Daly. Now, if you're just joining the YouTube, I couldn't get it working, man. We had Houseline fixing it, so Houseline fixed us. He saved my soul, dude. g4, as predicted. Now, black has several options. I like black's position. I like black's position. I'm not afraid of g5, really, because of knight h5 to f4. h6, okay. One interesting thing about h6, if h4 now, then I could probably take, and when you talk to me, I might be able to play h5. Also, though, I can always castle long. I can always castle long. I still always have knight h5. Wow, dude, Sam could pull this out again. He could pull it out again. All right, rook g1, I think that's our call to castle long. One thing you can see is that Esipenko did prep this system out. You know, it's like, and it shows a little bit of what chess at the higher level is, because I'm sure the computer isn't thinking about b3. He just has a setup in mind of how he wants to play the position. Black has a number of things he could do. I don't like knight b6. No, I don't like it. Don't do it, Sam. a6. What does he want? He wants to play c5. He's also saying that g5 is fundamentally not a scary thing. Let's hope it isn't. Let's hope it isn't a scary thing, Sam. a6 is a very ballsy move. It is a very ballsy move. I don't know about a6, Sam. I don't know, buddy. I don't know about that move. No, I don't. All right, we got a move on the board. h4, simple. Can't be wrong. Holding the pressure. And c5. I don't know. I don't know about c5. There's real questions about c5. Now, it's got to be said, I'm not sure white is actually threatening much. But what I'm afraid of is, like, let's say the rook lands on g5, and we say, I'll save my soul with g6. There is a confluence of things looking at e5 that makes anyone nervous, right? Okay, g6, preempting the attack on the g7 pawn, and potentially aiming for ed, knight d4, c5, and there's no knight f5. So a very ambitious move. This thing scares everybody. Okay, everybody is scared. You don't have to tell anybody to be scared. We are scared. Chess Lovers is saying he's happy not to see knight h4. On knight h4, I think g6 was coming. Or ed4, actually. Oh, buddy. Oh, Sam. You got yourself a complicated game. I don't know about a6. a6 freaked me out. Whew, man. The bummer for white is it's not clear that you want to play g5 here. It's not clear. Let's talk about bummers for white. This guy wants to move. This guy's in the way of the d file. It's not clear how to break with g5. And now black is asking, he's like saying, could I do it? Now maybe he can't. Maybe you're just going to sack on b5 and rip him all open. Honestly, it looks like he can't play ed4. But queen e3, nice building move. And now maybe queen b6. Maybe queen b6. All right, so just for the kicks, I'm going to say this is insane because of this. All right, that's what I think the insanity is there. So here's our position. Castles long would be the chump GM move for sure. Queen e3 really doesn't improve our position that much. Plus, it introduces like this queen b6 idea for black. Just to say, you know, there is chump GM move. Good move. Finally. Queen e3 feels a little bit like we're drifting. And at some point, we might well play c5. Just with the thought that if I get c4 in, I'll clear the c5 square from my pieces and be ready to rock and roll. So white has a couple threats that he is This is very typical for this. Couple threats. He's got this threat and this threat that he needs to deal with. King b1, nice and flexible. If he ever takes, it's always good for black if he takes, because then black's pieces gain this square. Or rather, if you take on e5, you better have some tactical idea in mind. All right, so big question for Sam. Should he consider e d4 followed by c5? It looks very dangerous. Very dangerous. This would be an intuitive move. However, we are hanging the h6 pawn. Oh, buddy. People talking about king b8. King b8 played. Especially in a blitz game, you're like, okay, he played king b1. I'm just going to sit. I'll play my little king b8 move. ChessLover's talking about some shots on b5. I don't see it. I don't see that yet. So White's in a little bit of strategic zugzwang here. We've had a couple positions where White, Esipenko, like got his pieces to the maximum squares and then, you know, had difficulty, both sides having difficulty to know what to do. Knight e2 is a move. a4 maybe not a dumb thought to provoke b4 and get knight e2 on the board. Knight e2 kind of wants to happen anyway, just to open the bishop. But notice on e2, the knight's, you know, he doesn't really have a cool future from there. If we were going to play a4, maybe it would have been better to do it with the king on c1 so that we could reroute through this square. I have a feeling, though, on a4, Sam's just going to let it sit there. He's, as the song says, he's going to let it linger. Bishop f8, g7. Good thought. Very good thought. Bishop f8, g7 would be super cool if we had time to do it, because then we could play our rook he8 move. I like bishop f8. Now, let's just say that the moment we play bishop f8, we got to be really worried that no tactical nonsense smacks us over the head. That was a good idea. Oh, man, this position's tense. Yep. Oh, we got the time advantage, my friends. Wow, if Sam pulled this out, man, amazing. g5, hg, hg. Now, in principle, I did not like this for white because we're getting this f4 square. However, maybe white's claim is, now I'll play knight e2, and I'll claim that your knight is poor. That's a thought. Okay. My knight, though, can always reroute. It blocks the h-file. I'm ready to play rook he8. I can still do chess lovers bishop f8, g7 stuff. Okay. This is great. We got moves. Knight e2 as predicted, and now c5. All right, c5 is a very bold decision. And what it's saying is you cannot play d5 because of c4. And that we're not afraid of this pawn structure, which I assume we're just going to get now. Yes, we get it. Sam's thinking, should I play knight e5? I don't think he should. I think we're going to see d e5 here. And again, we're worried about some kind of accident befalling us here on the e5 square, but I don't as yet see it. Dude, I think we're in control of this business. Is he worried about some trick? I don't see the trick. Knight e5. Ooh, why, Sam? Why? I don't like this at all. Okay, okay, so we'll say that we are threatening this move. Or we'd like to claim we are. There might actually be some tricks there. But we'd like to claim that we are. Okay, here we go. Knight c3. He goes back. Now, I wanted d e5, so I had the option of knight f4. This is a very terrifying position. Strategically, we have to be very worried about the knight moving and just f4 pummeling us. So, maybe a dynamic move, rook he8, good move. Now, the question is there some knight move, knight d2 or something, that's going to enable bishop to pawn to f4? Again, if you're white, you're saying that this knight is poor. So I wanted to take that pawn, with the pawn especially, because I wanted knight f4. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Maybe there was. Okay, here we go. There's good arguments to say that black is completely fine here. All right, here we go. Bishop e2. So he gets out of this bishop, knight d3 stuff, bishop f8. And now we got some real questions. White is dreaming of moving this knight and hitting us with f4. But of course, when he does so, this e file is lighting up. We're getting a lot of time. Sam is also claiming that knight e5, d e5, bishop h5 is not a good position for white. Is the pawn a weakness over there, or is it a strength? It obviously has dreams, but it doesn't have money friends. I think knight e5 is a simple and strong move here now for white. Yeah, knight e5 looks like a nice move for white. I think we have to say that white is better in that position. We got to move knight e5. I'm a GM today. d e5. Now, if you're white and you find nothing else, you have bishop h5, gh, and something like knight d5. This would be the way to just keep your life simple. Now, by the way, maybe he could play knight d5 directly too. That's what he would like to do. Either knight d5 or bishop h5 first to free all of white's pieces. He plays rook d8. Maybe he's going to try to do a liquidation. We're about to find out here. Sam has the time. If we achieve knight f4, we're certainly just to have an interesting position. Does bishop b5 win some stuff? People were talking about that before. It looks scary. Bishop h5 gh. Again, is the pawn a hero or a zero? Knight d5. So this was basically my thought from earlier. He does it with the rook straight off. Notice that if bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, he has c4 at the end of it, and we're suffering there. So bishop takes e d5. I don't think we can take that pawn, but we could play bishop d. I don't like bishop d6 either, you know. That pawn, I think we're in big trouble. I think it's official, my friends. I think we're in big trouble. Man, simple play for Esipenko. I think he's in control of this game for sure. On rook d5, c4 looks like El Endo, you know? He does it. This means Sam is, I guess, sacrificing the exchange after c4. Is that true, Kraai? He could also just move back and then play bishop d6 when that goes down. Well, okay. Okay, timeout. Timeout. It's not the end of the world. Another interesting move for white is actually g6, activating the rook. He's saying queen f3, trying to keep his life simple. Okay, maybe that's good news for us. We're just much worse, though, after rook d8, queen h5. If rook d7, I bet he's got g6, crushing all of our coconuts. Now, maybe queen d7, I don't know. Queen d7, he's got g6. I think he's got to go rook d8, and now queen h5 looks good. Maybe he's got something else. Queen f6 could be a pain in the butt. Queen f6, of course, we have bishop d6. g6 looks like a very strong move, too. g6 with it just at the, you just liquidate, and it's like you're the one pressing. There's not a lot going on for Sam there. Ooh, man, rough. G6, good move. I think this is the end of Sam. Foos Chess, yeah, he was wondering that too. That's why he was thinking about it, but I don't think so because the bishop on b2 was loosed. Oh, I think we're just toast here, buddy. Well, we're not actually. I don't want to say we're toast, but we're not going to win this game. Now, if you wanted to really be a fighting man, you could. I mean, h4. I'm assuming bishop e5 is winning. Yeah, bishop e5. Bishop e5 is the big threat. It seems like bishop d6 is forced. And then you can just play queen h5. You might have something fancier after that, like queen d5 or I don't know what. But queen h5, we ain't winning this game. Oh, Sam. Oh, you played so well, buddy. You played so well. You played some weird moves in that last game, though. That a4 move, bud, it's going to haunt you. King a7. All right, he's trying to be a fighting man. The default move, I guess, is queen h5. Rook f6 scares me. All right. Queen h5, simple moves. Rook f6 is still a strong move. White's king, black has the weaknesses and the worst king. That is the simple truth of our sad life here. In a normal game, you might try queen d7, hoping for some kind of draw. Here, of course, the draw don't mean nothing for us. Yep, Vidit, Rapport, Dubov, Ivanchuk, all these dudes. Oh, man. I think it's over. So over. All right, c4. Trying to play ambitiously. Probably just going to be an accident waiting to happen here. It looks like an accident waiting to happen. So, like, our dream could be like queen e5 and we want some kind of bishop a3 thing at the end. Yep. Well, at least we got... I like that Sam, he's giving us at least some hope. Bishop e5. Queen c5 now played. And notice we don't even have control of this square, so we can't really even do anything. Queen c5, okay. Okay. Are we threatening anything? I don't think so. We're not threatening anything. Oh, this guy could blunder, though. It's always a thing. You could possibly blunder. All right, we got to move. Queen h7 check. It's not a happy life, I guess. You could think about bishop e7. King a8 is the... White has something on king a8. It's called rook a6. So bishop e7 looks basically forced. And then you know what he might do, dude? He might play bishop d6 there. Ooh, bishop e7? Look at that. That's cruel, buddy. That's the game ender. Damn! Damn! Oh, man, that's it. That's it. Oh, queen h7, good move. Queen e7. Sam's got the look of despair now. And now you can just play queen e7, bishop e7, rook g7, game. Yep. Like Arjun, he's gonna keep playing when he normally would just resign. G7, rook d1. This isn't changing anything. I guess on king b2, rook d7. Don't play bishop f6. That's his one trick, dude. Yeah. It's unfortunately just a pin of doom. So on, like, you know, king b2, rook d7, he takes once, resigns. Oh, Sam, bro, I'm sorry, man. I'll expand this out to the full screen. You can't really see it, but he's not flipping out or anything. But you know he's really upset, man. Esipenko's holding it together. I think it's a good sign. You don't want to celebrate yet. You go outside and celebrate. You go outside and celebrate, bro. All right, Yospem's still playing. Oh man, that was heartbreaking. Yeah, all right. So, Yospem, where are we, buddy? Here we are over here. Could I tell you what's going on here? Oh my God, it's complicated. So, dude, first of all, I just want to say, Yospem, this guy's holding his business. He is holding his business. I don't think he's worse here. There's no reason to think he's worse. It's typical, like, Sicilian stuff. At some point, we can play knight c5 if we want to. g6, maybe. g6, maybe. I wonder a little bit about bishop d4. Black's fine. Black is fine. So g6, I'm a GM today. Yospem definitely has less time. This guy, Yospem, is definitely a blitz artist. Yeah. Rook d2. So I think rook d2 is trying to set up, like, I might play rook h1, make you wonder about bishop d4. So yeah, my next move, I might play bishop d4. Black has a lot of moves here. Knight c5, I'm sure, is playable. Rook a3. If we have a bummer, it's that our rook on c7 isn't the happiest of dudes. There it is, rook a3. I'm going to guess king f2. Summary, Mike. Sam went down, bruv. The game is over for Sam. The game is over. The last time he was there, by the way, he lost to Karyakin. I think it was like 2021. So hard to imagine that time. Not so long ago, 2021. But he also lost in a tiebreak. And, right before the Ukrainian war. That was one of the last times we saw Karyakin. All right, rook cc2. Rook a4. All right, he's just going back and forth a little bit. Now, the thing that frightens me a little bit for black is this idea of bishop d4, rook h8, force the trade and say d6 is weak. That's a long road before you get that. Anytime we play rook c8, what white is saying is that e5 might hurt you. That's why rook c8 isn't happening. So white's claim is that the rook on c7 is a little funny. And it's true. White's claim is also that he's up on time. This might be the end of Yospem. All right, here we go. Rook a4, we got to move. No, it's just white's move, excuse me. If I was white, a bishop d4 would be the first thing I'm thinking about. King e2, okay. It is hard for black to move here. It is truly hard to make a move for black. When white plays bishop d4, we could really think about e5, sacking a pawn but liberating our stuff. f5. There it is, Yospem. I like it. Gives us a little space, and even if we are a little weakened after gf, knight f6, our pieces gain some maneuvering room, and we're going to be talking to the e4 square. Nice move. Ooh, the other nice thing about it is the rook now will be able to swing if he takes. Ooh, nice move, Yospem. Nice move, bruv. Nice move. Que viva Yospem. Que viva Yospem. Now, he's got to reevaluate here. Maybe king f3 is white's best move, just to not let that knight out. I don't think gf knight, it's more importantly than the knight, it's the rook. Okay, so he takes, also not letting the knight out. gf, correctamundo. We now want to say, maybe someday I'll play e5. King f3, simple and strong. e5, he says, I'm doing it immediately. Welcome to the Yospem. If white takes, then our bishop gets free. Rook d5, good move. So now if e4, our coconut will fall. That's a good move. All right, rook d5, very simple and strong. Now, I think we're going to... Oh, this looks bad, actually, doesn't it? Rook d5, that's an evil move. Oh, he's... Yospem, what do you got, buddy? What do you got? Oh, man. It's saying it's his... Oh, rook a4. Okay, good. Now, why... Okay, so he's saying if you take everything, I'll end up taking on c4. I'll be down a pawn, but with good drawing chances. Look at this guy. He's Nails, bruv. This guy's nickname is Nails. There it comes. All right, so white says, at the minimum, I'm not going to lose this thing. Oh, he's also saying, bruv, your pawn on b6 is hanging. Your pawn on b... So I'm... Oh, God, this is intense. We could very well lose this coconut. All right. Rook cc4. So the basic for white would be rook takes, bishop b6, and claim that I am doing great. It's Still not easy, though. I got things like f4, and I have rook b4. I don't know. That pawn. The problem is the f pawn is so weak. Rook f5 is also a move. I like bishop b6 better. Oh, man. Here we go. Oh, man. I'm defending like nails, but it looks bad. He's going to take the pawn on b6, bro. Yep, there it is. I think we're lost because the f pawn's so weak. So if you play like f4, I'm just going to king f3 you and say, I'm going to eventually take that one too. So rook d5, maybe unnecessary. Rook d5. I say I don't understand rook d5 really. Maybe I do understand it. He wants to play bishop d4. Wow, look at that. So he's just reorganizing himself, and he's saying, I'm going to be looking for bishop d4. Now, he can't do it yet because of the rook snip-snop and bishop c5, but we can after king f3. So king f3 followed by bishop d4. I don't know, king f3, king f7. It's definitely not over yet. I don't know about this rook d5 thing. In general, it feels lost, though, because the king is going to be so active on f3. Bishop d4 looks like a horrendous blunder. Sindarov, bruv. So black has a simple game plan. He wants to bring his king up now. Oh, Sindarov, buddy. What are you doing? What are you doing? We got Suction challenging me. After this, I have to do some dojo work on my own. King f7. And notice, like bishop d4, with minimum, I have king e6. I don't know what. It's not easy. Rook e5, he goes back. Clearly, he's lost his way. All right. So there might be I don't know. I don't know what's going on, honestly. There might be a possible, no, I was thinking weird g6 ideas. All right, mistakes will be made, my friends. I'm sure mistakes are presently being made in this position. Rook c3 check. King e4. Simple and strong. There's no rook e3. Bishop d6, check to the miserable king. No, king g6. Ooh. So king on king g7, I lose instantly here. This rook f5 was a mean move. There's a very basic question with g6. I'm assuming, though, rook g3, we hold our coconuts together. Bishop d4, okay. Oh, buddy, he's going to run on both sides. That doesn't look nice. So rook g3, b6. Oh, that looks really evil. Yeah, b6. So even though this rook d5 thing, oh, king d5 even meaner. Wow, king d5, just like I'm in your face, son. I'm in your face, boy. v6 now. I'm all up in your grill. That pawn on that f pawn is just a chump. It ain't doing nothing. Now maybe rook g4 intending. Oh, he did it. Wow. Rook g4 intending rook f4, saying that if you take, I couldn't take anyway because no, but that was checked. So b7. Okay, good. The level of fright here is severe. Rook f, bishop h2. I think rook f4 might have been a move there. I doubt it, though. I Very simple question, bishop e5. And it's unfortunately a check on e5 from Mr. Yospem. This looks like game over. Rook b4, and now we're going to take that coconut on h2 and say goodbye. Wait, yeah, no, we're going to say goodbye. Ooh, b8. Well, I guess that's also simple. Resigns. Dang! Sindarov walks off. Yospem's dreams are done. Man, oh man, that was some brutal sows. Oh, I don't know. Am I interested in this tournament now? My two guys are gone. Am I even interested, bro? Am I even interested? Oh, man. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to do some dojo work of my own. I'm going to moan a little bit. Oh, man. That was painful. That was painful. I've been at this for like 3 and some hours.